Hey, what's going on, guys? Holdo here. Welcome back to another episode, episode 13. Just checking the microphone's working, and looks like it is. So let's get on with it. Just played a few hands on GG, and just to warm up, and went pretty well. So hopefully we'll have a good session here. Yeah, I forgot to mention on the last video. There's about 5 minutes of me trying to change the tables because all this Christmas stuff just tilts me completely. There's just too much stuff going on, and just stops you from, thinking about the hands properly. So if anybody knows how to turn this Christmas crap off, let me know down below. I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to do it. I swear it used to be easier, but there we are. So yeah, last sesh we somehow ended up money. Looking back at the video, actually, some of the hands seemed okay. There's a suspect jam with pocket fives, and also timed out with kings, which wasn't ideal. With trip kings when the guy was betting big into me, with ace kicker as well. So yeah, just gonna pretend he had pocket threes and would have stacked me. But yeah, GG's going well. Deposited, I think it was $20. Tried to deposit 20 quid, but for some reason it went through as $20. So we spun that up now to about 45 quid, something like that. But the play on GG is completely different. So the player pool seems a lot more loose, a lot more stacks flying in. It's not the knit fest Pokerstars is. So yeah, if you are thinking of playing, I would recommend GG. Kind of like a call here with Queen 9. It plays okay multi-way. The only problem is these behind can squeeze. So we have Queens ace high flop. There's not much we can do. Can definitely just bet to try and get to a river cheaply. So we're going to check this back. I'd still check back aces here, just a trap. So I could definitely have a boat. That being said, I don't think he's going to call that flop with anything less than an ace or a six. Yep. Just feels like an ace nearly every time, so we're going to let this one go. Unfortunate pot. So here we've basically just flopped nothing. It's a four-way pot, so we need to be playing extremely conservative. I can't see anything going for us. I mean, we do block king queen, which is something, but putting in a bluff against four people is, very difficult. And because we're last to act, a lot of people don't believe you anyway, because they just think you are using your position to sort of bully and buy the pot. So a lot of people just raise you. So we get through with the queen jack. Yeah, let's get out of that flop. That hand. Could possibly play the king nine if it comes. No, we'll fold it now. And we're going to raise with the queen jack suited. And queen 10 with the gun for me is a fold. That's a pretty sick avatar there, I like that. Right, so we flop a gut shot, so we're liking that. We've just improved to a double gut shot, a double belly buster. I think I'm gonna overbet, and we're gonna fold. So we won a nice pot there. I think the plan there is just to bet basically on any card other than an ace. Any card other than ace king queen on the river. Just bet pretty big. And obviously, if we do hit our hand, we might get paid. Okay, so 7-8 suited is come Jack 3 Jack. I'm not sure I like my check. I think a small bet on this flop is fine and probably standard with most hands. We could check raise though. We have some nice backdoors. We have a potential straight flush, and also we have the option for him to fold like that as well. So like I said previously, not rushing your hands too much and trying to think of reasons of why you should raise in these small pots to increase your win rate. So for that hand with the Jack 3 Jack, on hindsight, I probably made a mistake by checking. But then for that particular hand we had, uh, with two diamonds and some straight, uh, some sort of connected cards which could have led to a straight. Those are the type of hands you can fight back with instead of picking some random two cards, for example. Not sure about that sizing there. Kind of just did that on autopilot. The guy had a short-ish stack, so smaller sizing there is normally standard because you want to get him into the pot. And here with tens, I think a call is clear. Don't see any reason to raise. And on this particular flop, I think we just let it go. We're drawing pretty thin. And if we do hit our 10, we do have, and it's a spade, it's negative implied odds, because, you could definitely have spades here. So we'll play conservative and fold that. 3-4. I think we want to bet small, protect our hand, get a little bit of value. We do have backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. Don't think there's any need to inflate the pot on the turn. We have picked up obviously a gut shot now, which is nice. But I still don't think bet there makes too much sense. If it was a heart, then obviously we could bet again. Or if it was a 5, I'd probably bet again. And now we just check and try and win. I think it's going to be pretty difficult for us to win. I can't think of many hands that he's going to have which we beat. Could definitely have backdoor diamonds, maybe 7-8 or something. Ace 8. So we do beat ace 8, which is nice. King Jack under the gun. Again, it's close. It's probably a fold. I'm going to open this time. kind of want to complete here, but it's kind of a trash hand. Um, yeah, let's just do it for fun. And this is the reason why you don't do that. It's because even though we have a pair and a backdoor flush draw, we're basically first to act, so we're out of position against 3, and there's not a lot we can do. We just have to check it down. Unless we just flop, you know, 2 pair or better. And I think now we just have to call and hope to hit a 3 or a 4. 2, there could be a potential for a bluff, but again, being first to act is pretty difficult. Ace 4 is definitely in these guys' ranges. I don't think 4-6 necessarily is. I do block Ace 4. I think we just let it go. For the Queen, Deuce, we're just going to fold. That was an outrageous raise. Or it felt like one. It might have just been 4x. Let's pick up Ace King, see if we can do something with it. Okay, so we get a raise from Belarus, and this was basically an instant raise from Poland. I think we just 4-bet. He did do this very quickly. I'm not sure what that means quite yet. Oh my days. I think we just need to lay this down. Yeah, unlucky. See what happens. Ace, king, queens. Yeah, so we would have chopped, but I still think a lay down there is correct. It's just aces, kings, queens, far too often. Maybe if we had ace king suited, I'd be more inclined to get it in. Just let that go. Don't have much. Ace six. Um, hmm. I think I'm going to call this one. So from the small blind, the strategy you should really be playing is 3-bet or fold. But sometimes you do want to call out the small blind, or you feel like you want to, but it's not necessarily a good play. 3-bet there is probably fine with a suited ace, but ace queen, nice hand. Yeah, but the small blind is the most 3-bet position, so people do tend to play back. He was raising from under the gun to, relatively large size, so you could just assume he has a decent hand. So playing conservative is not, a bad idea. Gonna raise here. In position, we're gonna size down slightly. Looking for a fold. Unfortunately, he decides to rip it into us, and he sized up a bit too much, so I think we're just going to fold this. And here we flop very well. So this is from the big blind, and I call. I think we just check, call, and then check. So that's an unlucky. Damn, we timeout. Unlucky turn. And I think now we just bet big. And just represent the ace of clubs. You know, if it was a different turn, you know, a non-club, we could have then maybe mixed in a check raise or something. And with the nines, I guess we'll never know. But at least we've got our daily timeout out of the way. So I like to bet basically a half pot as default in three-way pots. And so this is a guy from the big blind coming in with a pretty large check raise. What does that mean? Just make sure the time bank's on. With a jack, we're blocking some straights, so it's more likely a set or two pair. I think with the jack specifically, we're going to let this one go. I'd be calling ace, queen, king, and ace, queen, but I think he's more likely to have pocket fours or two pair there. And because we block in his draw cards. So let's have a look at that again. So I seem to be making some big folds today, but for me that will make sense. There's no flush draw. There's no immediate flush draw on the flop, so we can rule out that type of sort of bluff raise, semi-bluff raise, or it's unlikely. It's that type of raise. Ooh, against South Korea, he's raised massively. Do we have the odds to set mine? I'm not sure we do. We are in position. I think if we do call and the 9 comes, we're getting his stack. So it might be a reason to call. Because the side, you know, he's not folding. He's not checking, I mean. Whatever comes down. I think I'm going to do it this time. I wouldn't do this every single time, but you need to mix in a couple of them. But now we have a big problem. So he's checked, which is nice. We could definitely bet here. But I do expect him to check back overpairs. I think we're going to check. And then when he checks again, I think I like a jam. Or maybe a large bet, actually. And here we're just going to fold with the... We have 2 overs. Yeah, that's a fold. Let's sit out a sec so we can discuss this hand. Again, we have, you know, a decent-ish pair, and we've been outflopped. Here, I'm just going to bet small. Don't expect him to fold much. And he could definitely do this as a bluff for sure. But, you know, for the times I do have an ace, it's a bad play on his part, so I'm going to fold this time. If he's bluffed me, good for him. Alright, so let's just check this hand a sec. So we're in the cutoff. We have Queen Jack off. Raise, you get a call from the small blind and complete from the big blind. So the big blind should be completing with. Why is this going so fast? So the big blind should be completing with anything really. It's a three-way pot. They can call with a lot of hands basically because it's a reduced price because they already have the big blind in. So they could have Jack 9, they could have 6-8, they could have 8-9, pocket fours. Don't expect them to have block pocket queens and pocket tens because expect them to raise those anyway. Expect them to raise king queen some of the time, ace queen some of the time, queen 10 possibly. You could have 10-4 suited, stuff like that. So I bet half pot and he raises. Now on second thoughts, you could definitely just be doing this with complete A, just trying to win the pot. But my thought process at the time was that because I hold the jack and the queen, it's less likely he has jack 9 or king jack, and it's more likely he has a two-pair type of hand or a set of fours. On hindsight, it's probably a bit tight actually, especially with my backdoors. We could call, improve on the turn with a king or a 9, and then play rivers. So it's probably actually a bit tight, but at the time I thought it was a decent fold. Let me know what you think down below if you're watching. Just had somebody thumping on my door downstairs, so during that hand, so if you hear that, I apologize. No idea who it is yet. Okay, so we got 9-10. I think I'm gonna bet 2 overs and a gut shot. I think this is the type of board you're gonna size up on if you were to bet, so see what he does. If it unraises, we're just going to let it go, I think, depending on the size. So we hit our card, so I'm going to check. This hand is definitely the type of hand that... this card is definitely the card which could improve for which could have improved villain also. So checking to him is always pretty good. And I think now we just bet big with trips. Unlucky with kings there, we didn't get any action. And Gohan has decided to squeeze, so good for him. Queen 4, I'm just going to let this one go. Just a bit too weak. So we get another walk with a decent hand. Standard C bet. Didn't see this guy's stack size, but we'd normally bomb the turn here. But with this guy's stack size, I didn't think he was going to fold, so I think checking there is a better option. However, now he's bet small. It's unlikely he has a king. Hopefully we've just rivered him. Looks like we did. Ace deuce. Okay, he's just a fish. We timed out on something. Why has this gone massive? I'm going to complete here. Got a flush draw and connecting cards. Can't be too bad. It's interesting he checks. Villain's playing from under the gun, so you know his range contains a lot of aces. It's because he's checked back. I'm quite suspicious. So it's probably nutted. Maybe ace king suited or aces or something similar. I think I'm just going to let this one go. The 9-5 suited, we're going to raise. So it's going to be a standard C bet. Against this sizing, I think I'm going to 3-bet this. It's not always a 3-bet. I think you'd mix this and fold. But against his weak bet, I think you've just got a tiny bit more fold equity. So just a bit of a better spot there to 3-bet. You know, if he 2.4 to 3x'd, you're probably going to fold. So I opened King Jack under the gun earlier, so I'm going to open it again. Stay consistent. Still not sure if that's correct. Can't be too bad. So we've got this guy tanking in the small blind. Not sure what that means yet. Maybe he's just, I don't know, making a sandwich. Alright, so we pick up queens in the small blind. See if we can get a stack today. So Greece, he's raised three big blinds, so decent size raise, and he's done it quite quickly, so hopefully he'll play back. Decent flop for queens. You could argue a check back is fine, but without holding a club, I'm gonna bet. We're gonna bet quite small, just to protect my range when I have ace high. And here we're just getting it in always, but we're going to tank for a bit, just to give him the impression that we might have a flush draw or something. In before he has pocket nines, but I'm feeling pretty good here. Nice. This is a difficult one. Didn't pick up any equity on the turn, so I think we can fold this actually. Block ace jack, but I can't remember how the play went in this hand, so I'm going to fold. As we time out again. If anybody's got any tips on how I can stop timing out, let me know. I'm going to raise the ace-10. Jack 9 is probably a fold, in all honesty. I'm not sure though. If King Jack off is a raise, then Jack 9 suited is probably a raise. Eights is a raise for me, and even though it's three ways, I'm going to bet this just because it's good for my range. When villain calls and it comes at 7 on the turn, I think I'll be checking this back with my entire range, so I'm going to do that. Try to flop a jack or a 9, river a jack or a 9. Yeah, and then we just need to fold. This guy can definitely have a 4. He can have any of these cards, so we're going to fold. It comes 2 queen 4, and if you put this into a solver, it's pretty good for your range. And it tells you to bet 3/4. I'm gonna raise this guy. On the 9, I think I'm gonna check. I'd definitely check if I had hearts. And also because we hold the jack, we block some of his value range with queen jack. But I think now we just fold. Here I'm gonna check back. Mixing in the check back is fine. And here now I'm going to raise and put this player in the tank, in the bin rather. Definitely do this with pocket kings. Nearly always. And this player should never have 7s. Although this player is going from under the gun, so they could have ace king for sure. I think on second thoughts, I'm just going to give up this time. Expect to see ace king quite a bit actually. A7. Oh. Decent give up there. We're going to check this one back. This board is about even, I think. We're going to 3-bet the ace king. This player has slightly less chips, so we're going to size down a bit. So we hold the ace of hearts, which is nice. I think we're just going to bet small. And here, I'm going to check the villain actually. See if I can get this player to donk his stack off. We're going to tank for ages. And then call. And then we're going to get it all in on the turn. let's just bet exactly pot. King Jack here, we're gonna check. If he has King Queen somehow, it's just unlucky for us. But in fold. Pick up a king here, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna call this, and then providing we have a decent river, we're gonna decide on the river. Terrible river. Yeah. Terrible river, but for a different reason to what I thought. Ace 4 off, is it fold? Another gun? Oh, we're coming up to about 40 minutes, so I'm going to play a few more hands and then call it a sesh. I think we've broken even this session. It's been a bit lackluster. No real juicy spots. I think we've made a few big folds, but not necessarily good folds. We're going to let this one go. The ace 8 for sure can be a 3-bet. This time I'm going to do it. We get punished immediately. Oh, we're going to fold. I have a note on this player apparently. Large 3-bets equal weak. No idea what that is. I think this is going to be it. Let's sit out next big blind. Yep, there we go. Yeah, so no real big spots. I think I played okay. It's a shame that you guys didn't see my GG session earlier. It was a lot better than that one. But yeah, we didn't lose. Played okay. Thought my thought process was a bit better today. So yeah, we'll just see how much this updates to. I won't open the cashier this time because I had to cut that out of the video because it reveals obviously your banking information. $60.18. So it looks like we're down money actually. Lost about $2 or something. I don't know. I can't remember what we started with. It was 60 something. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll try and get a video out tomorrow, and yeah, see if we can run better. Peace.